everyone. How are we doing today? We good? Yeah? How many of you guys feel like this when it comes to your business? That you're constantly chasing your tail, that you're always looking for new leads, or you're trying to keep up with the latest and greatest social media craze? Do you feel this way sometimes? A little overwhelmed, a little unsure what marketing scheme you should use to bring in new people to your facility or your coaching program? Yeah? What if I told you there was an easier way? That actually there were 5 easier ways than trying to keep up with the latest and greatest on social media and instead really attract the clients that you want to work with into your business. Does that sound good? Yeah? Well, good. Hi, I'm Jessica H. Maurer, and as he so kindly said during my bio, I am a fitness business strategist. I help people go from feeling overwhelmed to feeling organized. And just like you, I started in the fitness industry as a personal trainer, as a group fitness coach, and as a manager. I've been lucky enough to move into roles like director of education and director of fitness with companies like Bosu, Fit for Mom, and now I'm at the Mental Wellbeing Association where I am the director of education, which is the coolest job ever because I get to talk about happiness and joy all day long. And now I know some of you guys were with me last time at Career Lab when we were in Anaheim. It's nice to see your faces again. You guys get to see a different presentation, but we're still going to talk about happiness. Sound good? Yeah? There is a fact that we have to come to terms with before we can continue this presentation, though. Ready? Customers purchase based on trust, credibility, and loyalty. That's it. Those 3 things. Customers purchase based on trust, credibility, and loyalty. They don't purchase based on a sale. They purchase based on, can I trust you as this business or as this fitness professional or as this individual? Can I trust you? That's the first thing that they ask. And so oftentimes we're actually doing a disservice by throwing a bunch of different marketing schemes out there because we're not being consistent. And we're not being consistent, we're breaking that trust factor. They're no longer able to trust us, they therefore do not buy from us, right? Especially now. Because people, consumers, they're very standoffish about anything that they see online, specifically on social media. That. Because of AI, right? How many times have you been scrolling AI and you saw a woman that was walking a bear on a leash? Yeah? How many of you guys have been scrolling scrolling social media and you've seen something that was obviously just tremendously fake that got you so upset, like in your bones, right? Consumers are going through the same thing we are. They don't know what to trust anymore online. It's the reason why we're seeing sales crash when it comes to social media. You may have been able to get likes and your reach might have been extremely high 2 years ago. And then in 2025, you kind of were like, well, where'd everybody go? Yeah? Because nobody's really interacting with social media at this point. So if your entire marketing is based on 1 app or 2 apps, then you're missing the bigger picture. You're actually not building a lot of trust because consumers don't know if they can trust what's on social media. So in this presentation, we're gonna go through 5 ways that you can start marketing and keeping clients, not only bringing new clients in, but keeping the clients you have through strategies that do not involve learning a dance on TikTok. Sound good? Yeah, you're very welcome. Number 1, we've got to start focusing on the mental aspects of fitness over the physical aspects of fitness. And if, again, you were here with me last time, you got to hear me talk about this, but we'll go through it really quickly. This means in all of your marketing, in anything that comes out of your mouth or is written down about your business, needs to be about the the mental benefits of fitness over the physical. So what do I mean by that? Do you know that there's only 25% of Americans who work out 3 times per week? Only 25. Look around the room. That's the 25%. This is it. It's us, right? The other 75% of Americans are not working out 3 times per week. But out of the people who are working out, 78% of them are working out for their mental wellness. Only 46% are working out for a physical transformation. That means 78% are working out because fitness makes them feel better. Don't you agree? Does fitness make you feel better? When you leave, do you want to punch someone in the face as much as when you showed up? No, except for maybe Michael Piercy. No more slap bets. We know that when it comes to mental health, that we're talking about diagnosable disorders. So right now you might be saying, but I don't work out for my mental health because I don't have a diagnosable disorder. What we're actually talking about when it comes to mental wellness is the difference between happiness and sadness, right? It's talking about moving from flourishing to languishing. It's something everyone has, whether you have a diagnosable disorder or not. So these statistics are showing that people are actually choosing to work out, not for physical transformation, not actually choosing to work out to see the numbers on the scale change. They're choosing to work out to see the things inside of their brain change. They're choosing to work out for the confidence they get from it, from the stress relief they get from it, not because they might lose 2 pounds in 2 weeks. What's actually bringing them into the gym is the fact that they're going to be able to control their emotions for a longer period of time. They want to feel less stressed. Don't you want to feel less stressed? Absolutely, they as well. And so anything that comes out of your mouth about your business should be about that. Should be about how you're going to make them feel better instantly. One single dose of exercise can make someone feel happier, can make someone feel less stressed. It cannot make someone lose weight. But oftentimes, we're still caught up with these marketing messages, right? We're still doing things like burn or earn this treat or this meal. How many of you guys are still doing turkey burns around Thanksgiving? It's okay, you can admit it. We're still using things like time to get swimsuit ready, right about April and May when things start to heat up again. We're starting to still see things like no pain, no gain, or you're gonna lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks. We're starting to see this resurgence of smaller being better than anything else, to shrink, to take up less space. Sure, you can blame it on GLP-1s, but it's also a marketing tactic, right? But instead, where we're seeing the majority of the people gravitate towards are companies or coaches that are using other verbiages. There, it flipped. Things like energizing, things like stress less, words like stronger than ever, phrases like youthful aging, anything around that longevity aspect of things, or using terms like empowering. These are the programs that we're seeing actually sell within clubs. Is when we flip the script away from this being a drop 8 pounds in 8 weeks and instead being something that's going to make you feel happier, feel less stressed. That is what consumers are gravitating towards. That's where they're willing to spend their money, which is ultimately what we need in order to have our business, right? It's been for too long that we've made these broken promises to consumers. I promise if you work out with me for the next 8 weeks, you'll lose 8 pounds. Can you actually promise that to your clients? No, you know you can't. Absolutely not, because there's so much that is involved with changing your body. It's nutrition, it's sleep, it's hormones, it's hydration, it's everything you've heard about today from other people on the stage, right? It's not just about what they do in the gym with you, but we keep promising that. That's continually to be what we market. And so people come, they experience us, they don't get the results that they were promised. What does that do to our trust factor? Straight down, exactly, straight down. So instead, we flip the script. Instead of focusing on the physical, we can focus on the mental. I promise after this one session with me, you will feel happier. You'll feel less stressed. You won't want to punch someone in the face. That ultimately is the biggest win, right? Let's keep going and kind of summarize this all together by saying if you don't learn anything else from this segment, it's that exercise is not punishment. We've used that as a marketing tactic for a long time as an entire industry, that if you ate this, you need to come burn it off. We see this a lot around the holidays. How many times have you seen the chart shared on Instagram or Facebook that's like, if you eat a Reese's cup, you got to do this many burpees, right? That's waiting, exercise. Ultimately, talk louder if you want. That ultimately is pushing people out of our industry in a mess. It's only 20% of people working out. We need the other 75% in. Then we've got to change how we're bringing them into our places, how we're bringing them into our facilities. So look at your verbiage that you're putting out in marketing. Look at what you're saying. Look at what's going out on social media. If you're just focused on the physical and you're not focused on the mental, then you're missing a huge marketing aspect of your business. Make sense? Cool. We've been talking about this a lot today, and it's about the community aspect of fitness. The community part is just as valuable to the sets and reps. It's the social connection. And we know through looking at science and research that humans are the happiest when they are able to connect socially. And that ultimately is a gym space, right? How many of you guys remember the show Cheers from back in, there we go, got some hands. I'm dating myself, obviously. Okay, that's fine. In the theme song of Cheers, it is a bar where everybody knows your name, right? It's a place where everybody knows your name. Your gym should feel like that. When someone walks into your gym facility, the front desk should know that person's name. All of the trainers should know that person's name. Everybody in the group fitness realm of your business should know that person's name, right? It should feel like a family, a found family, because you are far less likely to leave found family, right? If you don't know anybody, it's easy for you not to show up. But if your friend is like, hey, I'm going to be there, then you go most of the time. Okay, some of the time. I want you to think about your gym like a spider web. The spider web itself is the community. All of the strands that are in the spider web, those are all the connection points. And notice they don't all go to the middle. They don't all go to you, the coach. They go all around to the other clients as well. And then the thickness of those strands, that's the camaraderie, that's the love, that's the friendship. Now, how many of you guys have been walking out before and you've run into a spider web and it like stayed with you for like 3 days, right? Those are the gyms that made it through COVID. Versus walking through a spider web and you were able to just easily move it off and over to the side. Those are the gyms that didn't make it through COVID, right? Through the shutdowns. If you focus on all of the community aspect of your business, it will become stickier. And stickier meaning that they're less likely to leave. Because again, they're in their found family. Ways that you can build your spider web, obviously names like we just talked about, but also asking questions and not just how are you today? Because most of the time when you ask someone how are you today, what do? They keep walking or they say good and they keep going, right? We need to get to know them as humans. We need to find out what do they do? What's their living situation like? Do they have pets? Do they have animals? Do they have plants? What's their thing? So that we can ask questions. We get to know them as a person. They're more likely to stay with us. Use gamification tools. Maybe you're going to have an attendance challenge, a group fitness challenge. Maybe you're going to tie in partners, accountability partners, so that people get to know. Let's say that you work at a gym and a new person just comes in and is like, I want to sign up. I'm a mom of twins. And you're immediately like, great, I know another mom of twins and you guys are going to be best friends. Let me introduce you guys. Finding their commonality so that you can put them together. You're essentially matchmaking them to their best friends. You're matchmaking them to their found family. Whether that's another trainer in your gym or that's just your other friend. And then if you really want to strengthen your spider web, you got to celebrate. You got to celebrate everything. You want to celebrate anniversaries, small ones and big ones. You want to celebrate their birthdays. Maybe if you're sending out email newsletters, then you're putting in there, hey, here are all of our January birthdays. If you see these people in the gym, make sure to give them a fist bump. Right? We want to celebrate class milestones. Maybe it's attendance milestone. They've come to 20 classes, 50 classes, 70 classes. How can we start to really amp that up, letting people know the consistency that these other people are going through? Achievement milestones are great. We know this through physical achievements, as well as maybe it's something that they really wanted to accomplish in their life, in their personal life. We can celebrate that with them as well. And then the biggest one at all would be referrals. If somebody likes you enough to bring their friend with them, that's the biggest celebration you should have, right? Because they've liked you enough to say, hey, this is the person I found, you should come meet them. That's a really big deal. So those are the times we should celebrate the loudest and the most in our space. Think about physically, where could you celebrate? Could you put their names up on the wall? So that you've got a line that shows 20 class and you've got one that shows 40 and you've got 60 and 80 and 100 and they just kind of move their names as they go along, or sessions if it's not classes. Can you figure out how to tie it into your email campaigns? That way people actually want to open your emails and you're actually getting an open rate that's higher than 10%, is if we start to incorporate clients into those emails. And then of course, social media. Maybe someone has done something incredibly. I have a physical accomplishment. We want to celebrate that on social media. Because ultimately you trust when you see people who are like you. And so if your target demographic is a 50-year-old woman, you should be showing 50-year-old women on your social media. And who better than your current clients who are 50-year-old women? That should be your marketing tactics, so that like sees like, they're more likely to trust it. Remember, consumers purchase based on trust, credibility, and loyalty. So we want them to see our marketing materials, trust our marketing materials, and come in. But this isn't just about your community within your gym facility. This is also about the community as a greater whole. And you should be the mayor of fitness and wellness in your area. I used to work for a company called Fit for Mom. We were pre and postnatal fitness. And the saying was you needed to be the mayor of Momville. And it's true. In your area, you should be the mayor of health and fitness in your geographical area. If there is a 5K, you should be leading the warm-up. Or someone from your facility should be leading the warm-up at every single 5K that's in your area. Fun run, they call you, right? You should, if you have the time or availability to be interactive with any of your kids' programs, you should do it. You should have your name on their jerseys. You should have a billboard out on their practice fields. You should be going in and teaching them about mobility and stretching. You should be active in your kids' sports. If there's a local podcast or influencer, how can you be on it? If there's a local magazine or publication, how can you contribute content? I know that nobody watches TV news anymore, but there are still TV news channels, and some people watch it, and you should figure out how you can be involved. How can you get in there? How can you be the mayor of health and wellness in your area? What you should be doing, instead of chasing the trends on TikTok or chasing the trends on Instagram, is shaking hands and kissing babies. You should be out in your community meeting as many people as possible, decked out in your clothing, with your car decked out in your branding, shaking hands and kissing babies, because that builds more trust than any TikTok dance you are gonna learn. When someone can actually connect with you as a person, they will buy from you much more likely than if you slash your prices and put a flyer up on Facebook. Remember, you are a matchmaker. So you're gonna match them with their found family in your facility, and you're gonna match them to other members of your community that need to serve them. How are you gonna do that? You gotta go meet your community. So getting out there and shaking hands and kissing babies and being the mayor of health and fitness in your area. The next thing that we're gonna, ooh, that went really fast. Oh no, the rest of the slides are not there? Okay, cool. Oh well, I'm gonna keep going. Sound good? Okay, that's all right, we don't have the slides, we'll keep going. Now, keep in mind, when it comes to matchmaking, we're not just talking about people, we're also talking about matchmaking to the type of exercise that the person likes to do, okay? So we're gonna create positive experiences. The more positive experiences that you can create for your clients, the more likely they are to tell other people about what they've experienced. The more likely they are gonna come back to your facility. The more likely they're gonna bring friends to your facility, so that you're not out there having to chase leads, the leads are coming into you. How can you create positive experiences? You can help the person find their perfect workout. Their perfect workout is not your perfect workout. Right? We have something that's called the false consensus effect. The false consensus effect means that we think whatever we like, everyone else likes. Because I like to lift heavy, everyone else likes to lift heavy. Because I like to run ultra marathons, everyone else is gonna love to run ultra marathons. It's a false consensus effect. It's not real, okay? What people like to do is feel good. People will gravitate towards pleasure. It's called the pleasure principle. Alex, you want to sing it from Janet? Yeah, it's a Janet Jackson song if you haven't heard. But there you go, love it. The pleasure principle means that we will move away from things that make us feel uncomfortable, and we'll move towards things that bring us joy. If working out makes you feel uncomfortable, what are you going to do 3 weeks in? Quit. It's the reason why we brought it up earlier that January 15th is National Quit Day. Do you know what that means? That is the day that most people decide that's the last workout they're ever gonna do, and they never go back because they haven't found their perfect exercise yet. Because somebody told them they had to do this, or you should do this. You have to run in order to be athletic. You have to lift heavy in order to be fit. That doesn't mean anything if you don't enjoy it. So you as a matchmaker, as a fitness professional, your goal is to actually matchmake them to the exercise modality they're going to love, even if it's not something you wanna do. They may actually love aquatics and you hate the pool. You're gonna matchmake them with the perfect trainer who does aquatics. You may hate to cycle and it's the thing that brings them the most joy. Guess what? You're gonna move them over into the cycle. It does mean that you're gonna give up some clients, but that's okay because they will have felt taken care of. When they feel taken care of and they're moving towards things that are joyful, they're more likely to recommend you and bring other people into your facility. It's the reason should know everyone in your fitness community so that you can give out those referrals. Oh, you really want to go try aerial yoga? I don't teach it, but my best friend down the street does. Go check out this class tomorrow. Make sense? So we're trying to generate positive experience, but you're thinking right now, but Jessica, we know through science that they need to lift 3 times a week and they need to get 150 minutes of moderate exercise. And these are the recommendations, right? We know the science behind it. This is what's really going to make them move better, feel better, lose weight, change their body, et cetera, et cetera. Not if they're never going to do it, right? Does it matter if we know these things and we tell them these things if they're not going to do it? No, they're not going to do it. So instead, who cares if their favorite exercise is Zumba? Let's get them in a Zumba class. Who cares if their favorite exercise is yin yoga? Let's get them in a yin yoga class. We need them moving. Now, once they get into the habit of moving and exercising, then we can start saying, cool, it's the Mary Poppins effect. Now we got to give you a little bit of medicine. We've already dosed it with sugar, but now we're going to give you the little bit of the medicine that you need. Now that you know the gym, you like the gym, you trust me, I can start to work in things I know you probably need in a way that feels more authentic and genuine and really concerned with making it a positive experience for them instead of us being so egotistical and saying, this is what you have to do, which we sometimes do, right? We think sometimes we know better, but they know their bodies better than we do. So let's let them find the exercise that they like the most. You are the matchmaker. Yeah? Okay, good, thank you. Appreciate it. The next one we're gonna talk about is consistency. We say this all the time as coaches, don't we? You're not gonna see a change in a week. Consistency is key, right? We tell them all the time that your Monday through Sunday has to look the same. That's the only way that we see changes. But when it comes to our business, what do? Throw spaghetti at the wall. And we're like, every day is gonna be different. Monday, I'm gonna do this, and Tuesday, I'm gonna do this, and Wednesday, I'm gonna do this, and I'm never gonna use the same colors, and my Instagram's gonna look crazy because I'm just chasing the trends that everybody else is doing in order to get likes and shares and reshares. And then the consistency factor is broken. If your clients were doing that with nutrition and exercise, what would you say to them? Gotta be consistent. But we wonder why we're not seeing any business growth when we are not being consistent, when our habits are kind of crazy and off the wall, right? So instead, consistency is key. Knowing what you're gonna do on Monday. Monday, this is what it looks like every single time. This is what I put out on my emails. This is the day that I reach out to my leads. This is what my social media looks like. Tuesday, I'm taking it off. I'm too busy. I work from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night. I'm not even turning on my phone. Nothing happens on Tuesday consistently. Then on Wednesday, I know that I'm going to do this on Thursday and Friday, so on and so forth. So consistency is key. For example, if you went to a new bakery in town and it had the most perfect carrot cake cupcake ever, and you were absolutely in love with it, what would you do? You would tell everyone, wouldn't you? You'd call your sister, your mother, your grandma, you'd post it on social media, you'd tell everybody about this new bakery and how amazing it is. And then you go back a week later and they've changed the recipe and it tastes like dirt. Would you ever go back to them again? No, science says you absolutely would not, that your trust had been broken just one time. But we as fitness professionals think that we are immune to that. And that every time someone comes and sees us, we're gonna give them a completely different experience. And do they stop coming to us? Yes. If you went to a training session and it made you feel so calm and so powerful and energized all at the same time because you were practicing kettlebells and you were using medicine balls and you were doing things that were really powerful, and the next time I came to see the trainer and the trainer was like, cool, everything you just learned out the window. Here's some dumbbells, we're gonna learn compound movements. I'd almost have like whiplash, right? Okay, but I'm gonna give it one more shot. And I go back again, they're like, cool, forget everything I just taught you, it's kickboxing day. How many people like to fail in life? Got one in the house. Look, people don't like to fail. They like to feel successful. Remember, we move towards things that make us feel pleasurable, right? We move away from things that don't feel so good. But we keep inviting our clients to fail over and over and over again. We keep throwing stuff at them. Look at this cool thing I just learned. Did you know you could do it backwards? You could also do it in heels, right? None of that stuff really matters because they're not going to feel successful. Success comes from repetition. Repetition comes from consistency, right? And so instead of throwing crazy things at them with their programming, be consistent, just like you would do for yourself. And if you're running a facility, encourage your trainers to do the same. Instead of changing things all the time, Focus on that. Consistency is key. Consistency is key in your business. Consistency is key when you train other people. So stop throwing spaghetti against the wall and be more consistent. Finally, the last thing that you can do in your marketing as well as in your business in order to retain clients is to personalize your communication. Now, we've talked about it all morning long. That personalization is the thing of 2026, right? However, how many of you guys are using ChatGPT to write all of your emails? Text messages, social media captions. There we go. It's okay, we can admit it. How personalized is that? And if you're not, you're now going to be like, oh, that's the one thing I learned. I'm going to use ChatGPT to write all my emails. Got it. Not the point of this. We need to be personalizing our communication, even if you're using AI to write it. There's nothing wrong with using ChatGPT to write all of your content, as long as you are personalizing it to the person it's going to. And if it's something that's going to the collective whole, everything out there, you need to think about your target demographic. What are they going to respond to? Something to where they're not just getting junk mail or newsletters. No one wants that. Do you want a newsletter right now? How many of you guys are going to websites being like, I'll sign up for that newsletter? Good. One. The one who likes to fail. She still likes newsletters. Totally fine. No, the only newsletter I want is from my son's middle school. I definitely don't want it from anyone else, right? What I want is when I open up my email to be surprised and delighted. I want to surprise and delight. I want to know that when I open an email from you, you have answered the question I was Googling last night at 2 a.m. If you can answer what I was Googling at 2 a.m., I am now interested to learn more about you and your services. So if you're scrolling social media, think about what your target market is looking for, not what you want to post, not something egotistical about yourself or what you've accomplished, but instead, what is your target market looking for? What are they Googling? Sit down and write 50 questions of like, what are they Googling? What are they asking their best friend? What are they asking their sister? What are they trying to get the information from? And then you give them that answer. Now, I'm not saying step out of line, don't get out of scope of practice. And remember, you got friends because you've been out shaking hands and kissing babies, and now you know everyone in your community, and they can answer it for you, right? If you really want to work with moms who are getting ready to be empty nesters, and you don't know anything about starting college funds, don't give out any information about starting college funds, but work with a banker that you met because you were out shaking hands and kissing babies because you are there of fitness and wellness in your town. Make sense? Yeah, so you can start to personalize it to where you're thinking specifically about your target market, who they are, their gender, their age, what are they going through, what are they Googling at 2 a.m.? Make your marketing answer that. And if you can make your marketing answer that, they will come to you instead of you consistently chasing your tail. Make sense? I want to wrap this up really quickly because I know I'm out of time, to say that you guys are doing amazing work. Right? We are on the front line really and truly trying to make people healthier and happier. So give yourself a round of applause for a moment. I know, because you're doing great work. And I know sometimes when you come to events like this, you get really inspired, and then on the other hand, you're like, man, I'm doing everything wrong, right? And so I want you to leave here knowing, no, you're really doing amazing things. We're just giving you tiny little tweaks that you can do in order to improve your business so that you can support more people. So right now, in your little notebooks that you have, open it up. I want you to give me one thing, just write down one thing that you are going to do differently in the next 7 days. Just all right, now that you've got that down, on the next line, I want you to tell me something you're going to do differently or you're going to start in the next 30 days. So you've got 7. That was the one that stuck out to you the most. Then 30 days is one that you're like, feels like a little bit bigger, but I can handle it. And then your last one is 90 days. What are you going to change or do differently in your business in the next 90 days? What is it? And you've just made the commitment to yourself, and now you have to do it. Everybody, I'm Jessica H. Maurer. I want to thank you for your time, your effort, and your energy today. Thank you for being here with me. Thanks for going through the technical glitches as well. If you want my slide deck, make sure to come see me afterwards. I'll be able to send all of it to you. You can find me at jessicahmaurer.com. That's Maurer, M-A-U-R-E-R. Or you can just come up to me afterwards. I'll give you my business card. We can change information because I, too, would like to shake hands and kiss babies. So thank you guys for being here with me today. Mary Chris is going to come up next and lead you in some movement. Give her a round of applause as well.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you,
give it up for Jessica Mauer. Outstanding.